Hi everyone, Josh here at House Guitars, and we're continuing the Building a House Guitar video series, and this video is going to focus on carving the neck. So what you see here is the everything is done to the neck here except the shaping of the neck shaft and the heel and up around the headstock. I always do a carved volute. That's the little piece that kind of sticks up and looks kind of fancy, but it also adds some strength in the transitional area between the angle of the headstock and the neck shaft. So what you're going to see in this video clip is how I take the neck from this stage here to its final shape before finishing. So I'm just going to shoot some video clips of the different parts of the carving, and I'll stop every now and again to just kind of explain a few things. Now, I carve my necks primarily by hand, and one of the reasons for this is I do such a wide variety of scale lengths. I do 12, 13, 14 fret necks, a whole bunch of different nut widths, and even different string spacings at the saddle, and all those things change the dimensions of the neck. So I find it, rather than trying to make a set of templates and automate everything for one certain size of neck, I find it easier just to do them individually by hand. For the volume of guitars I'm doing, that works very well. And I've come up with, I use a simple method. It's not original with me, but I've taken the profile I want to use, and this drawing won't really make sense. This is the drawing that I use, where I have my profile here, and then I've measured at a few different angles and measured out different points where the wood needs to be removed. And it's a little tricky to explain. This method's laid out in a number of guitar building books, but what it involves is once I've got the drawing done, then I simply draw these lines, reference lines on the neck shaft. There's one on the side, there's a couple on the back, and then all I have to do is just carve the wood away between those 2 points. And once I've carved away the big chunks on the side, I'll draw a few more lines on, carve away those sections, and then just round everything off. And it ensures that I get a consistent profile from neck to neck. And as long as I stay within the guidelines that I've drawn, there's really no danger that I'm going to mess it up. So I'm just going to go ahead and set up and start carving away. Okay, so I just wanted to stop and shoot a little clip here. I've done the initial shaping of the neck shaft, and still needs some final sanding, some shaping along the edges of the board, but at this point now I'm going to concentrate on the heel, and I start by removing the bulk of the material just on the end of my belt sander, and then I'll be finishing that up by hand and blending that into the neck shaft. After that comes dealing with the headstock, the carving of the volute, and cleaning up the transition in the nut area, this section right in there. So I'm just going to go over to the belt sander and start working on the heel. Okay, so I just wanted to show you another quick clip. I've had a chance to carve the heel now. Most of the shaping is done. I'll refine it in here a little bit as I do the final sanding. Same with the volute. It'll get a few minor touch-ups, but it's essentially done. So the carving is done. I'm going to go ahead and do the final sanding up to 220. Also going to install the side position markers, and on this guitar it's kind of vintage style clay markers, which I really like the look of, and they suit this design very nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll show you one final clip once the sanding's done and the markers are installed. So the shaping of the neck is now complete. I've installed the side position markers. These are clay position markers, have a really neat look to them. They suit kind of a vintage styled instrument, which is part of the look that I'm going for on the LG. And so I've given everything a final sanding, final shaping, cleanup of the headstock, and ready to move the neck into finish. So the front of the peg head will be a gloss lacquer to match the body, with a hand rubbed oil finish on the neck. So if you liked this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Visit houseguitars.com for more information on my instruments, and be sure to check out Ken Fox's website, paramountguitars.com, where this guitar will be going shortly. Thanks for watching.